What is going on, TU crew? Welcome back to another episode of the Totally Unqualified podcast. We're up to episode 20 now. That is absolutely crazy. I'm, of course, Luke Rosenthal. Joined by me are my two lovely co-hosts, Gage Hall and Jake Maltese. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Had a little bit of a situation with some yellow jackets in my room. We're going to get that sorted out. I'm staying as far away from that as possible, but excited to talk some sports and get my mind off that right now.
Yeah, that's a scary situation. I wouldn't want anything to do with that. So guys, we are going to be talking about a bunch of cool things today. We got a bunch of cool things on the slate. We're talking about that Super Bowl preview Thursday night football game last night of the Houston Texans losing to the Carolina Panthers. Going to go over some Speedy Spotlights, talk about some underrated players so far this season, and then, of course, give our predictions for Sunday's game. And if you guys don't know already, we have a new schedule for when we're actually posting these episodes. We're going to do Wednesday and Saturday, every Wednesday and Saturday, except for last week because we had some technical difficulties. But anyway, nonetheless, let's get into our first topic. And our first topic is actually that Guess That Player that I forgot about. So I'm in the lead. I think I'm leading 9-7, 1-1. I think that's correct. And yes. This is Gage's time. I want to see 10 straight weeks every time Gage gets it. Are you guys
too much pressure on me now? Every time at the beginning,
I'm so ready. This is the first time it's been Luke by 2. We've kind of gone back and forth. It's just been one person's leading, then we're tied, then the other person's leading. I gotta play some catch up here. Yeah, I'm building that lead.
All right. Obviously, NFL player. For this player, I'm going to give you some vague hints at first because it's kind of obvious who it would be if I told you like the obvious hints. All right. So drafted in 2018 in the 5th round. Okay. 2018 5th round.
Wait. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. This guy. All right. Defensive player on the defense.
Shit. All right. That just throws me off.
On the defense, he's also known for his special teams work, but he is a defensive player. He has one career start. And I told you guys I was coming for your heads after fucking Ryan Kelly last episode.
We got to give the O-line some love. That's fair. All right. I'll give you that. One career
start. In his years in the league. His first year in 2018, his rookie season, gave up a passer rating of 158.3, which is a perfect passer rating. Second year gave up 104.2, and in his third year gave up 52.1. Okay. That being said, doesn't get thrown at a lot because he doesn't play a lot. Now on to the actual notable hints.
Wait. Go through those again. Again.
Drafted in 2018 in the 5th round. Defensive player, also known for his special teams work, has one career start, and he gives up a ton of big plays when he does play. He has a brother in the league.
Shaquille Griffin.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
There it is. I thought you knew it right from the start. If I'm honest.
Man, as soon as you said brother, I knew it.
Yep.
I couldn't remember the draft date of Shaquille Griffin, and I didn't know he was that bad his rookie year.
Yeah,
that's
Shaquille. Which one was it? Shaquem? It's Shaquem, right?
Shaquem.
Wait, hold on.
I said Shaquille.
It was Shaquem. Oh,
okay. All right.
Well,
I knew the brother. I was gonna get if it wasn't the
same
other
person.
Brother. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Shaquille, it was gonna be Shaquem. So I was on the right track. I got it. I got there. I got to the right brother.
Yeah, there it is. My other last hints were UCF and is missing a hand, which is incredible.
Yeah, missing a hand would have been
yeah. I mean, there's only 2 players you could think of, or maybe 3. You got JPP, you got Shaquem Griffin, and you have what's his name, Kenny Galladay. So without any hands. All right.
My God.
So after that, we're gonna get into our first topic, guys. We had a doozy of a game last night for sure. Davis Mills makes his first career start and loses to the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers go over 24-9. Gage, I'm gonna start with you. What are some of your takeaways from this game? Did you watch this game? Because I did not
watch this game. I went to B-Dubs actually because my stepdad is a Panthers fan. So we went and watched it. And they were pissing me off at first because I did bet on this game, and we'll get to that a little bit later. And I was like, what is going on? Like, it should not be this close, especially with Davis Mills starting. Another thing, why is the Texans turf, and Jake, you mentioned this in our group chat last night. The Texans turf has to be absolutely horrible with the amount of people that were getting injured last night.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey with his hamstring injury. JC Horn has a broken foot. He's going to be out a few weeks. Like just all these injuries, even on the Houston side of the ball, there was guys getting injured all over the place. It was absolutely ridiculous. The Texans were surprising me early on, especially with the defense. We talked a little bit last week when the Saints were playing the Panthers that I thought their O-line was going to get blown up quite a bit. That obviously didn't happen when we played them, but they were looking pretty bad early on in this game. So I still think that's probably their biggest weak point. The only other thing I have to say is Christian McCaffrey still carries that offense. He does. Like they're significantly better when Christian McCaffrey is on the field. That's just the fact of the matter. They showed some stats last night. Their average yards per play with Christian McCaffrey on the field is like 7.9. And obviously they picked it up later in the game, but without him on the field for the remainder or like for up to that point where they showed the stat, their yards per play was like 2.8 or something. Like it's horrible. So they're going to be missing him a few weeks. It's going to be a big deal for them, going to be a big hit for them. Maybe Sam Darnold can do a little something to pick it up. Maybe do some work with DJ Moore, but good game on their part. Going to be rough going forward.
Yeah. At this point in, 2021, if you don't have a grass field, a natural grass field, what the fuck are you doing? Like, there are so many statistics. There are so many studies out there that tell you that turf fields just lead to so many more injuries because players, when their cleats get stuck in the turf, it's stuck in there. Like it's not moving. It's not sliding like it would on a regular grass field where it has a little more give. They're going to get injured. Why would you want to put I know you save money on grounds crews and everything like that. You don't go to maintain the grass, but it's worth the investment if you want to keep your players healthy. It's just stupid to me. And even if you're a dome team, the Raiders proved that you can just roll out the field and just give it some freaking sunlight. Like it's not that we have the technology to do it. You just gotta, it's just so stupid to me that teams have not all switched over to grass fields knowing what we know now. So that's my little rant on that. Mostly because I have Chris McCaffrey in a lot of my leagues. But yeah, it was probably the most boring game of Thursday Night Football that I hope we will see all season. I did watch it start to finish all the way through. I do want to give credit to Davis Mills. He looked a lot better than I thought he would. I want to give credit to that Texans defense because that Texans defense is for real, man. I want to apologize for everything I said about that Texans team, saying they'd be a dumpster fire, saying like they're definitely still not going to finish with a good record. Like they're going to be like whatever 5-12 or 4-13, something like that. But damn, are they going to fight? They're going to fight, and they got a talented team there. And David Culley is actually a better coach than I give him credit for. So I just want to say that about the Texans. They put up a good fight. That defense was all over the place. They have athletes all over the place on that defense. Sam Darnold looked good. He did. He missed one throw by inches to DJ Moore, which would have made a stat line look a lot better. But yeah, my MVP is still looking good. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. DJ Moore, if you had DJ Moore in fantasy, I bet you're a very happy person today. He was just every target was going to him. But yeah, I mean, other than the fact that of the individual player performances, Chuba Hubbard is not as good as I thought he would be. It's still early. He wasn't expecting to be put in a full starting rotation, basically with Christian McCaffrey going out early. So I'll give him a couple weeks to get adjusted, but I wouldn't be surprised if Royce Freeman kind of took over that spot. We got to monitor that going forward. I hope Christian McCaffrey's okay. I really do, man. That would suck. But yeah, not a very entertaining Thursday night game. But I guess my highlights just are Davis Mills actually looked like, with a little more experience, he could be a decent quarterback in this league. That Texans defense is for real. And Adam Gase was definitely the issue when it came to Sam Darnold. Those are my main takeaways.
I just want to make Luke, you're muted.
Yep.
I just want to make one point real quick, though. You guys keep saying it was a boring game. And I'm not like disagreeing, obviously.
Yeah.
But it broke a record. It is the most viewed Thursday night game ever.
Really?
Really?
That one?
Yep, that one. Panthers, Texans.
Yeah, at least on NFL Network, I believe.
I think so.
Which is just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. There was no interest. Unless you're a Panthers fan or a Texans fan or like Davis Mills' parents, you're not watching. Like
you know what might have happened? You know what might have happened? So many people were uninterested in the matchup that they all bet on it to give them something to root for. And that might have driven the ratings. That's my only reason for, and maybe Texans fans wanting to see Davis Mills. But those are the only two things I can think of.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway is that this Panthers team, I already thought that they were sort of going to fall off after this week 3 because they have a tougher schedule coming up. They were playing some, not like terrible teams, but some pretty, poor teams.
I don't know what this you could say it. You could say it. Just they're playing shitty teams. Shitty teams.
Yeah, they're playing shitty teams. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
I don't know how this team is going to operate without Christian McCaffrey. So much of the offense, pretty much all of the offense runs through him. I know you have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall there, Tommy Tremble as well. Like there's a good group of receivers. Now this is the time for Sam Darnold to show us who that guy was that got drafted out of USC. Like we weren't really able to see that sort of Sam Darnold in the Adam Gase offense because he's in the Adam Gase offense, of course. But it's all going to rely on his shoulders now. Christian McCaffrey's not going to be there. They said several weeks he's going to be out. They're not going to put him on injured reserve, which is a good sign. So I'm guessing he's going to take it week to week. So it's nothing like crazy. He's not going to miss the season like he did last year. I don't know how this team is going to operate, especially offensively. I love their defense. I love everything about their defense, their front seven, their secondary. They're building a great unit. And like you guys mentioned, JC Horn going down with a broken foot. It's looking like he's potentially going to miss the rest of the season, or at least the next, 2 to 3 months is what I heard. So he's probably going to go in injured reserve. That's two really tough things, especially in a game where you pretty much dominate the entire game. The one thing you can't have is injuries. So that sort of takes away from their win a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. I watched the first quarter of this game and just turned it right off. I had homework to do, which was a little bit more important than watching Sam Darnold versus Davis Mills. Sorry, guys. But Davis Mills I did watch the highlights. Davis Mills didn't look terrible. He looks like a competent backup quarterback. But it's the Tyrod Taylor curse. It really is. He's absolutely cursed.
That drive before halftime was, I don't know if you guys did.
Pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive,
but it was good. Yeah. He went like 6 for 7 or something, 70-some yards, I think, like that, or something like that. And they tied the game. So the last thing for this is my debt of the week. I'm going to go ahead and insert it here because I did bet on the Panthers game. So I want to talk about that. I bet on the Panthers to cover the spread. They were -7.5, and they ended up winning by obviously a much larger margin than that, winning 24-9. So I did win some money there. I bet $50 on the game, $191. So total, I've made like $21 profit on this so far, but I'm not just going to leave it at that. I do have another bet for you guys, and obviously feel free to rein in on what you think, but it's another parlay, only a 3-leg parlay this time. And I'm calling it a trifecta bet because it's a spread, a money line, and an over under.
Okay.
So starting, I'm taking the Bills -7 over the Washington football team for the spread.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Saints money line +124 over the Patriots.
Okay.
Wow.
Because we are getting our defensive pieces back this week. Lattimore is expected to play, so on and so forth. And then
where's that game being played? Sorry.
It is in New England.
Okay.
I can't see Belichick going 1-2. I can't.
Sean Payton also has a very good record against rookie quarterbacks, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
And then for the over/under, I went for the over 55.5 for Seahawks versus Vikings because I think
that was a good
shootout.
That was a smart bet. That was a smart bet right there.
And I did put the $20 on that. And if all of it hits, that'll be $166 that I come out of it with.
Damn. Oh, I do just want to mention, listen, parlay virgin right here. I broke my parlay virginity. I lost it this week. For Monday Night Football, I put a parlay on, for some reason I couldn't do a 3-leg parlay. I can only do 2. The app wasn't letting me do 3. So I did Quintez Cephas to catch a touchdown, and I did the over 51.5 for the point total. And the first touchdown of the game, Quintez Cephas, Cephas, whatever it is, catches touchdown. That's good. The game total. Do you know what the game finished with total points?
40, 52.
52 points. I bet over
Just
51
over.
and a half.
Woo!
So I got I bet that with a free $10 from Barstool Sportsbook. Free $95 in my pocket right there.
Love it.
Doing absolutely
Love
nothing.
God, this is my thing, and Jake's doing better than me.
Gotta wait a couple months till I turn 21.
Listen, I've heard from a bunch of gamblers and bettors that beginner's luck is a real thing when it comes to betting. So I'm sure that's literally
because once you like get into it or know what you're doing, so to speak, you start overthinking it a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm sure this won't continue. You have nothing to worry about.
Hey, let's hope it does though. Let's hope
that's true. It's true. I'm not going crazy. I only bet on things that like I see and I'm like, I can really see that happening, like something like that.
Yeah, you should probably bet on the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I think that probably win you some money.
Let's not get out of here.
I think that'd probably win you some money.
Jordan loves Super Bowl MVP.
Now that would win you some money if that happened. Oh my gosh. All right, moving on to our Speedy Spotlights. You guys know the drill. It's a minute 30 for us to talk about whatever the hell we want. Gage, you are going to go first. I actually have your timer ready, which I don't think that's ever happened.
Wow.
I thought in advance. It's crazy. A round of applause for me. All right, so whenever you want to start, Gage, you're
all right. So the NBA has put out their top 100 players or whatever, and it's a little controversial right now. People are a little pissed off today because they put out the top 5 finally, and at 1 we've got Kevin Durant. I'm fine with that. At 2 we've got Giannis. Totally fine with that after last season. He's coming off of a finals win, obviously. 3 we've got LeBron. I'm okay with that. 4 is Luka Doncic. And then 5 is Steph Curry. And I love Luka. I think that Luka's great. I think that he's done some amazing things these past couple of years, especially in the playoffs and stuff, putting the team on his back the way that he has. Obviously, they haven't been able to move on, but absolutely not am I putting Luka Doncic over Steph Curry. Are you kidding me? I can totally understand why people are up in arms about this because it's absolutely ridiculous. Steph Curry has accomplished so much more. He obviously had less to work with last season as well, and he was still putting up 50, 60 plus point performances like every other night or whatever, trying to put the team on his back to get them to a position where they can make the playoffs. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know who voted for this. I love Luka. I wouldn't have even minded him at 5 really, but to put him over Steph is just blasphemous.
Yeah, quick comment about this ESPN ranking. Pascal Siakam ranked higher than Julius Randle, and I will take that one to the grave. That's wow, just wow. It's kind of all I have to say about that 100.
Also, I will say that Luka Doncic has a career defensive rating of 110, while Steph Curry has a career defensive rating of 107. So just something to chew on there. I would argue that obviously Steph's a better shooter. Luka's not far behind. Luka's a great shooter.
That's what I said though. Like I wouldn't have even minded Luka at 5, but to put him over Steph already is a little much for me.
Yeah.
So was this list predicting like who was going to be the best players this upcoming season, or is that like right now how they rank?
I think it's right now, like based on last season. Okay. I thought.
Yeah, that's what the NFL top 100 is. That's why it's always like the top 100 players of the next year, because it's supposed to be like going forward next year. That's the top 100.
Yeah. So ranking the best players for 2021,
going into the next season. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This list comes out once a year, and there's always a lot of problems with that. There's always players that are ranked way too low. I mean, Kyrie Irving barely made the top 20, and like I think we all think he's a top 20 player. So it's always going to be subjective. But I'm against you with this one. I think Luka is a top 5 player, and I would take Luka over Steph Curry right now. I think Luka, he gets the team involved. I think he's a more efficient scorer than Steph. I think Steph, greatest shooter of all time. Don't get me wrong. But right now, I think Luka is, dare I say, a little bit, maybe even a little bit more important to his team than Steph Curry. Here comes the clown. Here comes the clown.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yep.
I mean,
that's not in his back pocket.
That's not crazy, because like with Clay coming back, if Steph wasn't there, like Clay could pick up the scoring. Like it really wouldn't be that difficult of a thing for him. Like I'm not I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are all that good if Luka's not on the team, because like KP's done nothing. KP's done nothing since he's been there. Steph with a fully healthy team, Steph, if he's got his entire team there fully healthy, yeah, they're missing him, but they're still really good. Like Draymond, Clay.
I completely disagree here. Like I'm just totally
James
against
Wiseman,
this right now.
Like,
and like Steph, if Steph wants to be in that top 3 or like the MVP conversation, I've always said like you have to lead your team to the playoffs. And I know that they were the 8 seed, they got knocked out by the 9 seed in the play-in tournament, but like Luka is that 5 seed. He's probably not going to get up to like 1 or 2 or 3 because he just doesn't have the team around him. But he is getting there, and he's making series out of these series. Like he's making games.
Steph's team was dog shit.
Why? Okay. Gage.
He put the team completely on his back. He dragged them to the play-in tournament. We were talking about him in the MVP conversation.
Listen. Okay. Last season, I don't understand why we can't just say they're both equally important. They're both equally important to their teams. Like Steph last season, I'll give you that. Last season, I will give you that. He was leading that team into everything. They are dog shit without him. I agree with you on that one. But if they're both fully healthy, the Mavs are just taken to another level. Like Steve Kerr is such a good coach. That's not a knock on. Is Rick Carlisle's not there anymore in Dallas, right? He's on
the Pacers. He's on the Pacers now.
Jason Kidd. Okay. Yeah. Jason Kidd. I mean, he is a good coach. But he's not Steve Kerr. Like he's not Steve Kerr level good. And you got Klay Thompson, you got Draymond Green, who's consistently, both those guys are great defensive players. James Wiseman, I think, is an up and coming stud on that team. Andrew Wiggins could put up, I mean, if he's still there, Andrew Wiggins could put up, 20 on any given night. So it's like, I mean, who do you have on Dallas? You got KP, who maybe will show up. Maybe. Who else? Like Tim Hardaway. Like if your next option after that is Tim Hardaway, you have an issue.
All I'm saying, Gage, I already know this is gonna be a hot take. Like if you're holding Steph in that high regard after not making the playoffs and obviously MVP season, we got to start holding Bradley Beal at a higher regard too, because they're just as efficient scoring wise, and they're playing with god awful shit teams. So I mean,
I don't hate that. I like Bradley Beal, and I think that he's been a part of just garbage forever. Steph's dealt with it for a season. Bradley Beal has dealt with it his career, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
And I think ESPN did rank him. I think I want to say 11th or 10th. He was right around there, so he's just edging on the outside of the top 10. But yeah, that was. Look at us debating out here. Look at that.
I know. Damn.
Someone have my timer ready?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, you got it, Jake?
My Speedy Spotlight will not take that long. I promise. Are you good?
I'm good. I'm ready.
All right. I would like to take my time to personally and publicly denounce the person who had a 16-team parlay last week and his final fucking bet to win like $700,000+ was on the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions. You could have seen it coming. You could have seen it coming from a mile away that you were just never going to win this bet. I need to know how much he would have cashed out if he were to bet on the Packers there, because it had to have been over $400,000, probably more than that. He did end up cashing out with, what was it? $133,000. And you know what? On a $25 bet, that's fucking awesome.
Free. It was a free $25.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I don't think he had a cash out option because it was a free. No. Yeah. It was a free bet. I wonder how much he would have won.
No, I saw that he did have. They offered him multiple cash out options.
Really?
At the beginning of the game, it was like 100-some thousand, and then at halftime, they even offered him like 256,000 or something like that, and he denied both.
Yeah, because at halftime, that wasn't looking like such a bad.
It was close. Yeah.
I mean, it was close, but like, I don't know. Like that's a tough leg to lose your bet on. I can't believe it. I was upset. Like I wanted the guy to win the money, but I didn't want the Packers to lose, obviously. So I just wish he could have, thought a little bit better. But I mean, the guy had better picks than I did last week. So yeah, time's up. That's fine. I just wanted to come out and say my thoughts on that.
I mean, I think the guy just like first of all, if you're doing a 16 leg parlay, you don't give a shit. Like that's just for, just for fun, for the hell of it.
Especially free money too.
Yeah. The fact that he hit 15 of those 16.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That is insane. Imagine just getting a free promo on an app, a free $25, and you turn that into $133,000 in one weekend. That's life-changing money. I think he was younger. Yeah. I think this was like, college age kid or something.
Well, he was married. So, which married? I mean, you could be if you're a college kid, I guess. But because I saw, because I saw a story about, then that's when I saw the cash out options and stuff. But afterward, he like posted on social media after he turned both of them down, and he was like, "I ain't no bitch," and this and that. He was like, "I'm gonna go cuddle with my wife now," and they were like, "Your wife's not gonna want to cuddle you, dude."
Yeah, $600,000. That's a tough one. I'm looking up the statistics on what are the odds of winning a 16-team parlay.
I mean,
so would it be 1 in 32, or is that just really bad math?
I know it would be 1. Or
would it be 1 in 16 squared?
1 in 16 times 16.
Yeah.
So one in it's 16. Fuck, what is it?
I think we need to vow from here on out just to never do math.
It's 1 in 256, which would come out to a 0.0039% chance of getting
1 in 256. That's not as low as I thought it would be.
Honestly, that might not be right math, though.
That's probably not right.
It's probably not.
That's probably not right. It's got to be in like the hundreds of that. That's way too many. Yeah, no, that's too. Yeah. If they were, was it all like, was it prop bets in some of them? Was it all money lines?
I think it was all money line.
Damn. Okay, so if it's all money line, then it's 1/2, 1 out of 2 times 16 times. So it's a half times a half times a half times a half times a half times.
It's a big ass
crazy
number.
Low. Yeah, crazy low chances to ever do that. And he had 15 of those.
I feel like they would be higher though. I don't know, because it's like a 50% chance of getting one game right. But
all right, do you one of you guys have my timer ready?
Good to go.
I will in a sec. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, cool.
All right, sweet. Let's do this. So I'm going to talk some college football. We don't talk about a lot about it on the show, but I'm obviously a very, very big Penn State fan, so I will be talking about it since I pay attention to it. Our coach James Franklin has been the center of some rumors about the USC vacant head coaching position, which a lot have called one of the top positions in college football, if not in all of football. That's just bullshit to think that the head coach of a historic team, because Penn State, look at the history. Penn State is one of the most winning teams, one of the most winning programs of all time, would leave to go to just another equally maybe USC is thought of in history as a little better than Penn State, but Penn State still got the name. They're a blue chip college football program. Why would he leave the success and everything he's built here to go to another program where he's going to have to do the exact same thing in which he has no connection to USC? It's not like he's a USC grad. It's not like he worked for USC. He had nothing ever to do with USC. It's just strictly because it's the USC head coaching position. That's a load of bullshit. He's from Pennsylvania. Okay. Fuck, I'm out of time. But it's bullshit. He will not be leaving Penn State. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't even hear about those rumors. I heard Urban Meyer going to USC.
Oh,
rumors,
yeah.
Those are also stupid.
I've heard Urban Meyer and Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy is a big one. Bill O'Brien is who I ultimately think will end up getting the job.
Gross.
Yeah, disgusting. Sounds like USC. Yeah. Oh man. All right, finally done with Speedy Spotlights. That took way too long. Yeah. We are gonna get into some underrated players that people are just not talking about through 3 weeks now of the NFL season, or we're about to be through 3 weeks of the NFL season. I'm up first, and I wanted to take the time to talk about a particular player who isn't just underrated this season, but has been underrated his entire career. And honestly, like bold take, he might make a Hall of Fame. Like he has a Hall of Fame resume and people just don't realize it for some reason. And that guy is Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is the guy on the Houston Texans. Brandon Cooks has been that guy his entire career, when he was on the Saints, when he went to the Rams, and even on the Patriots too. Which, by the way, weird like round of teams there to go to flip flop from. But this guy's quietly like leading the league. Obviously, well, now they just played Thursday night, but he's leading the league in yards per reception in a lot of these other categories. Has 322 yards on only 23 receptions. He's gonna be a deep threat guy, but man, is he one of the best in the league at that? Quietly, he's only had 2 seasons where he hasn't gone for 1,000 yards in his whole career. His rookie season, and then 2019 when he only played 14 games and he was hurt for pretty much the entire season. Every other year he's gone for over 1,000 yards, and he's one of the best players to get in fantasy. Like, I don't know shit about fantasy. I showed that very clearly on one of my recent TikTok videos. I went 0-8 in 4 of my leagues. So I'm not good at that, but I could tell Brandon Cooks was going to get a majority of the shares for this team because they have fucking nobody else. They have like 10 different running backs on their team that none of them are good. But Brandon Cooks was going to get a majority of the shares, and he's looking like he can make potential Pro Bowl season. This is sort of the spotlight he needs to show that he's one of the better receivers in the league, and he has been for quite some time now. He's not top 10. Probably early in his career he was, but Brandon Cooks has been severely overlooked this season, and I will not have any more of that. He's been outstanding for this Houston Texans team. Went for 1,000 last year on the Texans, very quiet 1,000 yards because they were the Texans and they didn't really do anything. But man, we have to start putting more respect on Brandon Cooks' name. I don't know why we spell his name with an I though. Brandon, like, come on.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I think that the Hall of Fame is a little iffy just because, I mean, lack of awards and stuff like that, the Pro Bowls, the All Pros, but 1,000-yard seasons and stuff, he's been great. I love Brandon Cooks. I think that he's awesome. I have somewhat of a bold take regarding Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
What makes Mike Evans better than Brandon Cooks?
He's tall.
Okay.
Jump ball, probably red zone.
Yeah.
But if you look at because I was looking at this a little while back, if you look at their statistics and stuff like that, they're really not that far apart. And they're both deep threat guys. Obviously, Mike Evans is bigger and he uses that to his advantage. He uses his strength and stuff. But Brandon Cooks is pretty much just as good as a deep threat.
That's fair. That's fair. Very similar careers, 1,000-yard seasons. They have it all. I mean, as Mike Evans, he's always had a 1,000-yard season, right? Every year.
Every season
in the
he's
league.
been in.
I think he just got over the 1,000-yard mark last year, like by a couple.
Yeah,
it was like 2008.
It was close.
Just got over.
Insane.
And that was Tom Brady, like last week of the season. Like, all right, we're gonna get you over this 1,000-yard mark.
Yeah.
All right, and next we're gonna go with Jake. Jake, who you gonna talk about?
Yeah, I'm sure this is a player I've given shit to so many players throughout my my time in the sports media industry, as I've been in it for so long. But no, I'm going to talk about Marquis Brown. Marquis Hollywood Brown is really shutting people up a lot this year. He was drafted in the first round. He's the cousin of Antonio Brown. So obviously you got that Brown name. People are going to expect some things. And he was a star at Oklahoma. He really was. He was a great receiver at Oklahoma. Comes into the league. The Ravens finally got their number one guy. He's not the biggest, but man, could he get open and can he? And then he had those issues. He's had the issues. He's not getting open. He's dropping balls when he's targeted. He needs to do better. That's all you heard. That's all you heard throughout his first 2 years. People were starting to think of him as a number 2 at best. This year, he's shutting people the hell up. He is. He's played phenomenally throughout the first 3 games this season. He's been a factor in every single one of those games. I mean, first 2 games. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. He's been a big factor in both of those games. If you have him in fantasy football, damn well that Marquis Brown has been amazing through the first 2 weeks. This is what he has to do. I'm not ready to prop him up and say, oh, finally, now he's good. Now he's a number 1 receiver. Now he's one of the best. No, I'm not ready to do that. But I just want the hate that has been surrounding him to people, all the haters out there to start maybe pulling back a little bit. Maybe okay, maybe this guy is better than we think. Maybe he's finally starting to put it all together and he's finally starting to, become one of those great receivers in the league. Because we know up to this point that, we just talked about Brandon Cooks. You don't need size to dominate in this league. You haven't needed size since the 90s to dominate in this league. Even then, you really didn't need it. So I think there should be more respect on Marquis Brown's name because he's having a phenomenal year. He's really turned his career around. If these first 2 games are any indication of how the rest of the season is going to go, I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps this up, if he makes the Pro Bowl at the end of the season. So just props to him for really working on his game. And I think he needs more recognition and less hate.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little weird because I feel Marquis Brown would fit better in a less run heavy offense with a quarterback that could, throws it down the field at a high rate. Obviously Lamar Jackson does not do that. But they're starting to use him more in that sort of aspect. Like they're making him go with deep routes. And it's nice to see. It's refreshing, especially after some disappointing seasons the first 2 years. And like you said, he had the drop issues last year. Only had 58 catch percentage, which is really low. Right now, he's sitting at 75, which is much improved. Then again, only 2 weeks. He's only caught 12 balls, but 12 balls for $182 is pretty phenomenal. 15 yards per reception. Like he's definitely starting to get more comfortable in this offense. You could definitely tell that or see that. And I think that's also his production is also a product of Sammy Watkins being involved in the offense because now he's starting to get more of those, I think, where they're lining up Marquis Brown more in the slot and Sammy Watkins is going more outside. So they're lining up their number 1 corners on him, which leaves Marquis Brown to, pick on whoever's in the slot, which I like that about this offense. They needed that taller guy on the outside. But yeah, you said it all. Marquis Brown for most improved. I'm with it.
Yeah, I like that a lot also, especially what you were saying, Luke, about adding Sammy Watkins and stuff like that. And I feel like as they start to get their pieces healthy again, and like I've been saying for weeks now, I think once they start to get more of their receivers healthy and on the field, that'll only add to that. Because if you look at the past couple of years, he's had who around him? Willie Snead, John Brown for a season, and John Brown's decent, but he's nothing crazy. So I feel like those other receivers pulling pieces away from him on the defense is going to help him out a lot. And I think that he's improved also. So,
yeah, I'm excited to see him get more involved in that offense.
I guess that just leaves me. And it looks like all 3 of us went with a receiver. I went with Rondale Moore. He is a rookie and he's showing out already. You would think for a guy that is coming into an offense where DeAndre Hopkins is the number 1 receiver, that he would kind of get overshadowed, especially with a guy like, they brought in AJ Green. They've got another guy in Christian Kirk who has stepped up so far this season, and he's looked good as well. But Rondale Moore is getting his. In his first game, he had 4 receptions for 68 yards, which is nothing crazy. But as a guy that was looked at as the wide receiver 3, I mean, he was getting his targets. And then this past game, 7 receptions for 114 yards and a touchdown. Like he is leapfrogging Christian Kirk right now to be that number 2 receiver on that team. He and Kyler Murray obviously have a connection, whether it's a tiny man connection or not, it's getting the job done. And they're looking really good. I like Rondale Moore a lot, especially for a rookie. He could be a guy that could sneak in and maybe steal that offensive rookie of the year title away from some of these quarterbacks that have come into the league.
I love it. Gage, I want to ask, were you going to go with Brandon Cooks? Because I know I mentioned talking about Brandon Cooks earlier and you were mad at me. Were you going to do Brandon Cooks?
You know damn well I was going to do Brandon Cooks by my response when you said dibs on Brandon Cooks.
I don't know why. Like I wanted to talk about the segment because I wanted to talk about Brandon Cooks, but I did not expect you to already have him in mind.
When you brought it up, he was just the first guy that came to mind. But yeah. I mean, I'm glad that I didn't talk about him because it made me think about it more. And I'm glad that I showed Rondale Moore a little love.
Yeah. I think other than like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I genuinely think so far through this season, I think the Cardinals might have the best receiving core in all of football. They have arguably the best receiver. He's definitely looking like the best receiver in football. DeAndre Hopkins through the first 2 weeks. Christian Kirk is no slouch either. Like Christian Kirk, he won't get a lot of touches. He won't get a lot of catches, but he seems to always be there when you need him. He seems to be one of their more reliable receivers. And then, like you just said, Rondale Moore, the addition to this offense, himself is just ridiculous. I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to do a lot of things with him, and we're going to see a lot more this season because I think he's going to get some rushing yards. I think they're going to do some crazy end around stuff. Like I'm waiting for that to happen because Rondale Moore is such a unique athlete. I love him, added to this offense. I think it's gonna be really fun to watch through the rest of the season.
Yeah, Rondale Moore has been insane. He single-handedly beat Ohio State at Purdue in 2018. Yeah. Go back and watch that game. Rondale Moore was the reason they won the game. He's special, man. He's a special. He didn't have as good of a season in 2020, so he fell in the draft. I think if he came out, if he was able to come out earlier, he would have been a first-round pick in 2020. Yeah. Because he's just so talented, man. And it's good to see him get. I wasn't sure if he'd have a role in this offense because of how many receivers they have there in Arizona. But the fact that he was able to, carve out a role in front of AJ Green and Christian Kirk, who, as you said, is no slouch, is a very good receiver. It's impressive. It's impressive what he's doing right now in Arizona.
I have not seen AJ Green in this offense. Does he have a catch yet?
He's caught a couple balls. He's caught a couple.
He got some like work 60 last game.
Yeah, he had like 60 yards last game. I want to say something like that.
Yeah, 3 for 44.
Oh, yeah. 44. Yeah.
So he's getting some work, but yeah, he definitely is seeming like the wide receiver.
Oh wait, he had a touchdown.
Yeah, he did have a touchdown.
Yeah. Okay.
He did have a touchdown. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. The fall of AJ Green was so. He's another one.
His injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing we talk about a lot on this podcast is like guys being compared to Tyreek Hill, and I don't want to jump the gun or anything, but Rondale Moore is the first guy that I've heard those comparisons, and I'm like, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Smaller in stature, goes out and gets it. Great route runner, has the speed. So I don't want to jump the gun or anything, like I said, but it's looking good.
No, I like that you brought that up because a lot of these guys compare these receivers to Tyreek Hill just simply based on their speed and not their ability to, go up and catch or attack the ball at the point of the catch. They don't talk about their strength as a wide receiver. Rondale Moore is built like Tyreek Hill. Some of these other guys have the speed that Tyreek Hill has. Rondale Moore is actually like legitimately built like him. He's muscular as hell, and he's only like 5'9". He's about my height. Like that is crazy. So I definitely could see the comparisons as well. That's a good point that you bring up. And moving on, we are going to get into our predictions for week 3 of the NFL. Crazy how we're already 3 weeks in, but you know what? That's fine because we got an extra week added onto the season, which is awesome. More football. By the way, there's a Monday night wild card game now. Did you guys see that?
I heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I think some team's going to get screwed over. Their fans are going to, have to come back from work and watch that. That's on a Monday. Yeah. It's probably going to end up being one of us too. So yeah. Quick update. Gage is leading. He's actually leading in this category. He's leading 20-13. I am 19-14 and Jake is 18-15. So we're all neck and neck pretty much.
Yeah.
Just a couple games out of one another. So we're going to start with the Ravens at the Lions. Gage, what do you think of this game? Who do you have winning?
I've been liking the Lions a lot. They've been showing a lot of good things, and they've been showing that they can stick in there. But I'm taking the Ravens in this one. After they had that big game against the Chiefs, I just can't really bet against them. And I think that Lamar Jackson's going to have another good game.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be bold enough to go with the Lions there. I don't know. Like Detroit's sneaky. Like this Dan Campbell's done a hell of a job coaching this team. He really has. Because you can tell this team, you probably couldn't name half the players on this team. Like before the season, I couldn't name a single receiver on this entire team. But they're just scrappy, man. They're going to fight till the very end. Like Dan Campbell said in his press conference, when you knock them down, they come up and they're going to bite your kneecap off. So they might not be that good at football, but they can bite your kneecap off, and that's going to be a pain in the fucking ass. So yeah, as far as my pick goes, I don't know if it's not giving me trap game vibes. I'm going to go with the Ravens. The Lions look good though. The Lions low key looked good in that first half against Green Bay, but then Green Bay turned it on and remembered that they were good at football. But yeah, the Ravens coming off a high against the Chiefs, finally beating them. They've looked good. They're putting it together. Lamar, throwing is not having the best season, but he's still special talent on the ground. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this one.
I want to pick the Lions so bad. I want to pick them so bad because I said in the last episode, I think they're gonna be a team that sneaks up on these really good teams, and they are going to be the trap game team where it should be an easy win, but it's not because it's the Lions and they have that culture. They have that team to do so. I can't pick them in this game. They couldn't handle Aaron Jones last week. There's no way I think they're going to be able to handle someone even more elusive in Lamar Jackson this week. And especially like the Ravens are coming off a high. Like that's probably their biggest win since the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, maybe last year's playoff game, but damn, to finally get that win over Patrick Mahomes, that was special. I got to pick the Ravens here. They're coming in with too much momentum. I can't pick the Lions. I will pick the Lions against one of these good teams, though. I'm telling you, they're going to win that game too. Moving on, we got the Saints at the Patriots. This is a really good game. I know you got a lot to talk about, Gage, but we're going to go with Jake first. Who do you got winning this game?
Yeah, I'll be short and to the point because I know Gage is going to have plenty to say. It's two good coaches. It's two really, really good coaches. But man, the Saints did not look good last week. I know you got your defensive players coming back, but it's in New England. Belichick is smart. For as smart as Sean Payton is, Belichick is just as smart. Mac Jones has looked good. I'm going to have to go with the Patriots in this one.
I'm going to take the Saints mostly because of experience, and Sean Payton has a really good record against rookie quarterbacks. We're getting our defensive pieces back. I'm sure he's going to scheme some things up that are going to have Mac Jones on his heels a little bit. So I like us in this game a lot. I think Jameis Winston's going to pick it up as well. I think that our O-line isn't going to look quite as horrible as they did this past week. So I like us in this one.
I think this is a bad game for the Saints to play after last week. Going to New England and going up against their defense, which, by the way, came alive against the Jets. I know it's the Jets, but they needed that sort of game to, re-energize themselves. I think this is going to be a bad game for Jameis Winston. He didn't look great last week at all. Definitely didn't look like he did in week 1 against the Packers. Credit to the Panthers defense, obviously, but this just isn't the right place or the right time for the Saints. So I'm going with the Patriots here, and I think they might win by double digits. Wow. Moving on. Did you want to comment on that?
It's fine.
That's, you are winning right now, so you can talk that shit. We are going to go to the Washington football team. They are taking on the Bills in Buffalo. Gage, who do you got winning this game?
Taking the Bills. They were part of my dead of the week, and I think that they're going to show out here. I've got them winning by at least 7 points, so I think they're going to stay true to that. This Washington defense hasn't looked as good as we were expecting. We've talked about that a couple different times now, especially this past week against the Giants. So I think the Bills are going to go out there and they're going to show them what's for.
Yeah, I can't not take as much as I love Taylor Heineke, and I know you love him too, Luke. Yeah, I got to go with the Bills. They looked like the Buffalo Bills again against Miami. They crushed them, and I can't imagine that the Washington football team is any better than Miami is, because I mean Miami's got a good defense. Miami has pretty good offense when 2 is in at least. So yeah, I go with the Bills in this one in pretty easy fashion. I think they win this game.
The only thing that scares me about this game is the Bills look terrible, or not terrible, but they didn't look as efficient up against that Steelers offense in week 1. I'm seeing some similarities between this Washington defense and that Steelers defense. I love me some Taylor Heineke. With that being said, I got to go with the Buffalo Bills. There's no way that they can lose this game. They cannot drop this game. They're too good of a team overall, offensively and defensively. They might have the most underrated defense in the entire NFL through 2 weeks. They've been playing out of their minds. Moving on, Justin Fields is finally going to get his first start, obviously due to Andy Dalton and his injury. He's probably going to be out for a little while, which, by the way, Matt Nagy said when Andy Dalton is healthy, he will be the starter again. Yeah, wow. Fucking right. So Justin Fields, this is your time to shine, baby. This is your time. So Gage, who do you got in this game?
I'm going to take the Browns. I think that Justin Fields will play well, and I think that he'll keep it closer in this game than a lot of people are probably expecting. I think they're going to scheme up some things, especially with his legs, to keep the Browns guessing. But that defense and especially that secondary is just too good for the Browns. And I think that, they're going to have a pretty easy time running all over the Bears D-line and stuff, even with Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Browns too. Listen, the Bears just aren't all that good, no matter if they have Justin Fields or Andy Dalton at quarterback. But mark this down, all right? He's going to have one big run that the media is going to blow the hell out of for an entire week. He's going to have one big run, and he's going to have 2 big throws. Okay, so 3 plays. All right, when you see his highlight reel on Instagram, you have 3 slides to swipe through. Okay, that's what's going to happen. You're going to see the flashy plays, and the NFL is just going to shove that content into your mouth for the next week until he plays again. But yeah, he didn't look great. Let's not beat around the bush. He did not look amazing last week when he came in. Obviously, he wasn't really prepared as he didn't know he would be in that game. So I think they'll scheme up some nice, easy throws for him, as easy as he can get against the Browns at least. He's going to have to rely on Allen Robinson a lot. Get Allen Robinson, get your best receiver involved very early. Run the ball, give him some easy runs. But the Browns are too good. The Browns are just not a team you really want to see when you're making your first start. They're too good defensively. If you have Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney coming at you in your first start, God bless you. I'm praying for you. Hopefully you don't die. He got walloped pretty good in preseason. Don't want to see that happen again. But yeah, excited for Bears fans for the Justin Fields era. That's not going to happen. Then Andy Dalton goes in. That's just ridiculous. That's complete blasphemy.
Yeah, that just goes to show how good of a coach Matt Nagy is.
Yeah.
I like what you said, Jake. He's going to have 1 highlight run. He's going to have 2 highlight throws, and he's going to have 3 interceptions in this game. Give me the Browns all day, baby. Go Pack, go. We got the Colts. Yeah, we got the Colts at the Titans next. This could be a sneaky good game. I don't know how healthy Carson Wentz is going to be, if he'll even play. So Jake, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, listen, I could tell you firsthand that the Titans are back to looking good. I experienced it last week, which I didn't think it would take them too long to be good again. I mean, they're too well coached. The Colts, it's been unfortunate the first 2 weeks, obviously not week 1. I don't feel so bad about that one as we crushed them, but they're a good team. They're a talented team. There's actually talk that Carson Wentz might start this week, which is crazy.
He practiced today, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That I think he honestly probably will end up starting this game. It sucks that I'm going to say this Colts team because I think they're better than 0-3, but I think the Titans win this one. They're just they're too good. They're too good of a team to lose to the Colts when they're this banged up, when their quarterback's banged up. They looked really good last week against my Seahawks. It sucks that the Colts are going to start 0-3 in my opinion. Because they're not an 0-3 team, but I just got the Titans to win this one.
I don't know why. I have no explanation for why. I just have this feeling about the Colts. It's just something about them, and I don't know why that is. But if Carson Wentz plays, and I'm not saying that like I'm only picking them if Carson Wentz plays, but I'm gonna take the Colts regardless. I think the Carson Wentz plays this week. Last week they looked pretty solid against the Rams. They started to come back late. Jonathan Taylor had a couple like goal line tries that just didn't go their way. If those go their way, I think that they even beat the Rams last week. And the Titans defense is obviously much worse. And I don't know how much better the Titans offense is than the Rams offense currently. Derrick Henry obviously showed what he can do last week against the Seahawks. So if they can do anything like that, then maybe, but I'm taking the Colts in this one.
Yeah, Jake, you stole the words right out of my mouth. The Colts should not be an 0-3 team, but I think they will be after this week. It's unfortunate with the injuries, especially to Carson Wentz, but you know what? That's what we've been accustomed to as NFL fans for the past couple of years. He's just made of glass, and it's as unfortunate as it is, and it's deteriorating his career. It's just unfortunate, especially with how good their offensive line is too, man. I do expect this to be a game, though. I do expect this to be a game, and I actually think it's going to look similar to the Titans versus Cardinals game, at least for Ryan Tannehill. I know he's my MVP, but going up against this Colts defense, like you said, they pretty much shut down the Rams, especially in that second half. I do see the Titans winning by a small margin, but still, Carson Wentz just isn't healthy, and I think that's going to show in this game.
I'm going to take it one step a little bit further.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Just to make it interesting. I think Darius Leonard is going to be playing absolutely pissed off this game. Give me 2 sacks and a pick for him.
Ooh,
Defensive
wow.
player of the week. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
like it. Getting bold. That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now. All right. Wow, there's so many games. There's so many games. Moving on, we got the Chargers at the Chiefs. Gage, who you got?
Taking the Chiefs in this one. I think that Austin Eckler is a little banged up right now. And I was talking last episode, I believe, that I think the Chiefs' run defense is not that great. So I think if the Chargers really want a shot, they would have to go through their run game. And I just don't know how strong that's going to be. I mean, Justin Jackson looked good in his games last year, but I think I'm just going to take the Chiefs. It's hard to bet against them to begin with. And without their top runner on that side, I just can't do it.
Yeah, whatever the over is on this game, I am hammering it. Hammering the over on this game. This is going to be a shootout in every way. Mike Williams is finally showing what he can do for the Chargers, which is good. They're finally feeding him the ball. Obviously you got Keenan Allen, who's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And then you got Tyreek Hill, you got Demarcus Robinson. So you got a bunch of players that are just super fast and super good on both sides. And they got two phenomenal quarterbacks. And all offenses are just going to be full go in this game. So this is going to be an exciting game to watch. I'm going to take the Chiefs, though. I can't see them losing 2 games in a row. I can't. It's too good of a team for that to happen. The Chargers are good, though. So I think they put up a really good fight. And this is going to be a fun game to watch, but give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think the Chargers will get a win over the Chiefs this season, just not this week. I got to come out and say this. I think Justin Herbert has become one of the more overrated players in the NFL. Like I saw a list today on Instagram that had him as the 6th best quarterback this season. And I just can't wrap my head around that. And it goes like this whole offseason, I feel like the Chargers were the most overrated team in football. People saying Austin Eckler is going to be a game changer this year. He's going to win fantasy leagues this year. Haven't really seen that. Obviously, it has been a little banged up, but like there's too much hype around this Chargers team. All right. There's just too much hype. I'm not the biggest fan of why can't I think of his name? Their head coach. Brandon Staley. Not the biggest fan of Brandon Staley either. But we can't be putting Justin Herbert in the top 6, not above Matt Stafford, not above Derek Carr. Like, come on now. Come on. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. I don't really feel like I have to explain myself. I think they're one of the best teams in football, if not the best team in football, even though they lost last week. It was a tough one. Moving on, we got the Falcons at the Giants in the who gives a fuck game of the week. Jake, you want to start with this one?
Oh man. I'm gonna take the Falcons just because I feel like it. I feel like you make an argument for either team here because both teams are gonna make mistakes. This is gonna be ugly. Yeah, fuck it. Give me the Falcons. I don't have an explanation. Yeah.
I'm going to go the other way. I think I'm going to take the Giants in this one. I feel like Daniel Jones has played fairly well through a couple weeks against better defenses than the Falcons have, obviously. So I think that if Jalen Hurts can do it, then I think Daniel Jones can do it.
Yeah, I have major beef with the Falcons. I'm telling you right now, I will not pick them to win a game this season. I will pick the other team just out of spite. I don't care about analysis. Out of spite, I am mad at the Falcons for losing me my Survivor Pool week 1. Couldn't beat the fucking Eagles at home and you get blown out. Come on. Absolutely give me the Giants by a million. Jesus. I just got really mad for a second. All right. Bengals at Steelers divisional game. Gage, who you got?
I'm taking the Bengals.
Yes.
Okay. I'm doing it. I'm taking the Bengals. I think that Ben Roethlisberger is beat up. He's got like a torn pec or something, doesn't he? And he already doesn't look too hot. We talked about him earlier about how, his quarterback rating has been absolutely abysmal through 2 games. And I think that TJ Watt is questionable as well. He might not even be playing this game. So going solely based off of that, I think that the Bengals offense is going to be able to get going a lot more than they typically would be able to. And I think that the Steelers offense is going to have nothing going for them.
Yeah. This one's tough for me because I could see this being a lot like that Bills Steelers game in week 1, where the offense doesn't really do much, but the defense makes a couple plays and that gives them the lead because we all know how bad that Bengals offensive line is. But man, I trust
Deontay
Joe Burrow.
Johnson is also out.
Okay. Yeah. Give me Joe Burrow. Give me Joey B and Jamar Chase. Like I think this is the year that Joe Burrow is going to put the league on notice and like, hey, I know I was injured, but do you know who I am? Like, do you know who the fuck I am? I'm Joey B, best season of college football ever by a quarterback. Just took LSU to the promised land in a year we thought that would never happen. Just this guy's too good. I love Joe Burrow. I'm picking the Bengals too.
I love that pick from you guys because that means I'm going 1-0 over you guys in this game. Give me the Steelers. I think that this is going to be the Najee Harris breakout game. I think this is going to be his coming of age moment, getting into the league. This is going to be his first breakout game. I don't really have a reason why. I just feel like it's going to happen. And I know that this Bengals defense is, reeling. Like I thought they looked really good in week 1 against the Vikings. I actually think this is probably going to be a blowout. I don't have a reason why, just a feeling. I know Deontay Johnson is out, and I know he's pretty much their number one receiver, if they even have one, if it would be Deontay Johnson. Give me Chase Claypool to have a big game too. So Najee Harris, Chase Claypool will both go for over 100 yards total in that game. Okay. Next, we got Cardinals at Jaguars. Jake, who do you got? I think I know who you got.
Cardinals. Just move on. Gage, go.
Cardinals.
All right. We got the Jets at the Broncos. Gage, who you got?
Broncos.
I'm gonna go with the actually maybe. I don't know. Wait. I feel like the Jets are just gonna have a game where they're not supposed to win, but they do.
Do it. Go for it.
Do it.
It's at the Broncos.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, give me the Broncos.
Damn it.
I think they'll be at home. I think they'll be at home when it happens.
This close.
Yeah, I think it'll be at home when it happens.
Yeah. Definitely give me the Broncos. I said last week that they were going to go 3-0 after they beat the Jets. So yeah, give me the Broncos. I'm confident in that one. Yeah, Zach Wilson looked terrible last week, and he's probably going to look even worse against this Broncos defense in Mile High. So yeah, so give me Denver there.
We got also apparently has a groin injury or something.
Does he?
Yeah,
I'm shocked with how bad his offensive line played in that game. So yeah. I just pulled my groin as that happened. That's awesome timing. So we got the Dolphins at the Raiders. Who did I go last? We'll just go with Jake. Jake, who you got? All right, yeah, I'm going with the Raiders in this one. I don't even think Tua is starting in this game, right? It's Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, yeah. Give me Derek Carr and the Raiders. The Raiders 3-0, man. 3-0. John Gruden's got that team going.
I think the Raiders are going to win this one as well, but hear me out. I think that the Dolphins offense is going to look better with Jacoby Brissett at the helm than it did with Tua Tagovailoa.
That's a good take. That's a really good take.
That's not terrible, actually. Yeah.
So I think this is actually going to be a decently close game. I don't think the Raiders are necessarily going to run away with it. I think the Dolphins are going to surprise them a couple times, but that's where I'm at.
Can we talk about for a sec how the Dolphins basically are the Patriots? Like every player, every free agent that they get, former Patriot, their head coach, former Patriot, like everybody, Kyle Van Noy. I mean, that's honestly the only one that I could think of off the top of my head. But
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett.
I have a special feeling about the Raiders this year. I really do. I know I've talked shit about that team pretty much the entire offseason. I know I talk a lot of shit about John Gruden.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, you're just shitting on John Gruden the entire offseason. And now all of a sudden, week 3, I have a good feeling. I don't know what it is. I just have a good feeling about them after nothing but that's funny.
Listen, I will talk shit about John Gruden the entire season because he should not be the head coach of this team, but they're going to go 3-0 this week. And you know what? The Chiefs are 2-1. They're in first place. Chiefs are actually going to be third in the division come this week.
Wow.
Yeah, give me the Raiders over the Dolphins. I would pick the Raiders even if they had Tua, but I like that take. I actually think Jacoby Brissett is going to lead that offense, to some lengths that they haven't hit with Tua Tagovailoa. Fucking doozy of a game. Buccaneers at Rams. These might be the two best teams in the NFC. Gage, start us off.
My MVP. The Rams are winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucs have been letting up a lot of big plays already this season, like a lot of 20-plus yard plays at a time. Obviously, they play a high-powered Cowboys offense week 1, but then they play the Falcons week 2, and it's the same thing pretty much. Matt Ryan was lighting them up for a minute until he threw 2 pick sixes, which was unfortunate, and got benched for Josh.
Both to Mike Edwards.
And then got benched for Josh Rosen. I'll also say that. But Matt Stafford, in his week 1 game against the Bears, was throwing nothing but deep balls to Cooper Kupp. So I think we're going to see some deep balls out of Matt Stafford in this game. And I think that the Rams are going to take it late. I think it'll be a close one.
Yeah. Potential game of the year right here. This is 2 high powered offenses just clashing together. I'm going to go with the Bucs. It's just, there's no weakness on that team. There's none. Matt Stafford's still getting adjusted to the offense. He's looked phenomenal. I think this is his first true test as a member of that Rams team. The Colts were good. Okay, but they're nothing special. They're a good team. But this Bucs team, this is the Super Bowl champions they're going against here. All right. If you're going to prove yourself that you could take this team to the Super Bowl, this is the way to do it. And I just don't know if he's ready for that in week 3. So I'm going to go with the Bucs in this one.
I have a weird feeling about this game. Tom Brady, especially the years where he like wins the Super Bowl, he usually always has that real, like really bad stinker at the beginning of the season where people are like, oh, is Tom Brady done? He must be done. I think that's going to be this game for them. I'm not confident within them going up against that Rams defense led by Jalen Ramsey, led by Aaron Donald. And I think Tom Brady might shit the bed in this game. That might just be my Tom Brady hate coming out. But like, I genuinely feel that. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Rams by a lot in this game. I just have a weird feeling. You know, it was the Chiefs. What was that? 2014-15 season where they got blown out? No, like 2016 where they just got blown out by the Chiefs week 1 at home. And then obviously last year up against the Saints, they got blown out 38-3. I think that's going to be another, you know, sort of game for him this year. Hopefully the result at the end of the season isn't the same as those games were.
Just a little fun stat real quick. Every time that Tom Brady has a matchup with Matt Stafford, he wins the Super Bowl that year.
Really?
For some reason. Yeah. Every time he plays Matt Stafford in a season, he wins the Super Bowl.
This is also his first time ever playing in Los Angeles, which is something weird. He's been
that's insane,
forever, right?
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, yeah, they haven't had a team until the Rams though, so that makes sense actually a little bit.
All right, moving on. Jake, I'm gonna have you go last on this one. Actually, I'll have you go before me, but last is in behind Gage. Yeah. Seahawks at Vikings. This could be a really good game, sneaky good game.
Yeah, I picked the over for this one, obviously, for my dead of the week, and for good reason. I think that this one is going to be another shootout like we talked about with the Seahawks and Titans last week. So I see them duking it out to the very end, but I think that the Seahawks are going to get the edge in this one. And I think that, you know, how often do you see the Seahawks lose 2 in a row? You just don't. So I think that Pete Carroll, I think Russell Wilson are going to come out and they're going to be slinging that thing. I think we're going to see a lot more out of DK Metcalf this week as he's had a quiet couple weeks early. Tyler Lockett will kind of take the back seat on this one. And I like the Seahawks to win it.
Yeah. I just feel like DK Metcalf and this entire team is just pissed off right now. I think they got a game stolen from them against Tennessee. I think Pete went into this week and he just drilled into them that I hope he did. Pete's a very good coach. I feel like they're disciplined now. DK came out and said that he's done, you know, he's going to hold his ego in check. He's going to hold his, you know, his emotions in check. And I think DK is also, I agree with Gage. I think DK is going to have a huge game here. So yeah, I got the Seahawks in this one. Vikings 0-3 start. Kind of like the Colts in the sense that I don't think they're an 0-3 team, but again, this is the Seahawks I'm talking about. So this game is going to go down to the wire, like it or not. It's going to happen. Dalvin Cook's going to run all over us. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to watching this game because I know it's going to cause me so much anxiety on Sunday, but I do think we pull this one out in the end.
Yeah, speaking of like DK maturing and like holding his ego back, I would love to see him get rid of that fucking binky mouthpiece that he has. Like I don't know. I know everybody loves it. I hate it. I don't like it reminds me of it's funny, yeah. It was definitely cool when like it was the first season. I didn't think he was gonna wear it for like or use it his entire career. But like it reminds me of those like I don't know if you guys remember like in high school or middle school when we played football and we had those mouthpieces that had like the tiger fangs in them where they had like the teeth and it came out of your mouth. It looked like you were like, I don't know, you had some like tiger fangs. It reminds me of that. It's weird that the Vikings are going to be 0-3. It's definitely weird. But I don't see them winning this game because like you said, you know, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks just don't lose 2 in a row. I think I agree with you, Gate or Jake, that they are going to come out pissed off. I like them to win this game, and I like them to win this game in a shootout. Like, I think this game has potential to be game of the year, just in terms of like the pure scoring that's going to happen. I think they're going to go back and forth. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense played in this game, but give me the Seahawks and definitely a shootout, high scoring game, definitely over, what was it, 55? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's easy money right there.
That's easy money.
And moving on to our Sunday night football game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the San Francisco 49ers. Gage, I want you to start me off.
All right. I said on the last episode that I think that the 49ers are my 2-0 imposter, and I think we're going to start to see that in this game. I think that the 49ers have some great pieces, but they're starting to lack in that secondary a little bit. And and I just see the Packers coming out and they have another fantastic game. They didn't start off so hot against the Lions last week, obviously, but they really started to look like themselves in that second half against the Lions and just started laying on the points over and over. And I think they'll do the same thing this week with the 49ers.
Yeah. This is going to be, there's a bunch of good games this week, man. There's a ton of them. The Packers finally looked like themselves in the second half of that game. 49ers have looked good too. They have. The 49ers have looked good, aside from that little scare in week 1 against Detroit. This is tough, man. If the 49ers had, if the Packers had shown me a little more of them being good, other than just like one half of football up to this point, I would feel more confident in this pick. I am going to take the Packers. Just because I think they're a better team than the 49ers. And I think Aaron Rodgers is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. No shit. I know. But yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting game. And yeah, I'm going to take the Packers in this one. So Luke, go ahead.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this game. The Green Bay Packers finally looked like a football team, especially in the second half of last game. This is a game between two teams who have looked shitty against the Detroit Lions at points in their respective games. Aaron Rodgers definitely improved last week. They finally got Aaron Jones involved in the offense, which literally the entire offense runs through Aaron Jones, whether that's play action, whether that's running the rock. It needs to go through Aaron Jones, not through Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams, I'm expecting a big game out of him. I got my Packers jersey out for a reason. I'm picking the 49ers in this game, right? Give me the 49ers. I know that's crazy. And I know I'm a Packers fan, and I would love to see me be wrong about this pick, but that front seven scares me. Like, our offensive line, the Packers offensive line is already banged up enough. They're not going to have Elton Jenkins, it's looking like in this game, who is now their starting left tackle with David Bakhtiari out. Nick Bosa is going to have a fucking field day. And like, when the 49ers entire team isn't depleted, like, let's not act like the Packers are going to go into San Francisco and just like be this awesome team, because that rarely ever happens, especially not in prime time football. Like, I think this game is probably going to be reminiscent of their 2019, not like the NFC Championship game, but the regular season game where they got, it doesn't really matter. They got blown out in both games. Yeah, I'm expecting more of the same in this one. The only caveat is the 49ers run game is very questionable right now. And I think a lot of it is going to rely, their offense is going to rely heavily on Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he could carry the load for them, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not expecting Trey Sermon to go off against the hunt for 180 yards like Raheem Mostert did against this team a couple years ago. That being said, it is the Packers defense, so anything could happen. Yeah, I don't feel confident about the Packers in this game, just real talk. So I'm not going to go ahead and pick them, but I guarantee you, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
You know, as we were going through it, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, damn, that like Kyle Shanahan does kind of have their number. Yeah. Like, he schemes well against the Packers, and I think it has to do with he and Matt LaFleur being close, you know, so they know each other. But I think I'm still going to stick with the Packers just because. But there are some pieces, like you said, I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything, because like, even though Deebo Samuel will likely be covered by Jair Alexander, they still have Brandon Ayuk. So I would, you know, think that he could have a big game. Trey Sermon is like their only back right now, so it's a little iffy there, but I don't hate it.
Guys, this is the week for George Kittle. If you have George Kittle in fantasy, you better start his ass. You better start his ass, because I guarantee you he's going to have at least 20 plus points. 20 plus points, nothing less. I want to say one quick thing real quick. Last week when the Packers played the Lions, at halftime, Matt LaFleur had to tell our new defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, to start pressuring more, to either play coverage or pressure, because he wasn't doing either. He wasn't doing either in the first half. That's why you saw the second half adjustments. He told Joe Barry to do his fucking job. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that your head coach has to tell your defensive coordinator to do his fucking job? That's crazy. I have no faith in the Packers defense this week. I'm sorry. I know Eric Stokes looked good last week, but holy shit, Kyle Shanahan's offense is no joke. And this Packers defense gives me nothing to hang my hat on. So I think Packers lose this game. Moving on, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Cowboys. This is a very interesting game on Monday Night Football. Jake, who do you got?
It's a tough one. This is a tough one because I think the Cowboys are a little bit of pretenders in my book, even though they're only 1-1. And the Eagles, man, Jalen Hurts is just, I feel like he's going to have that one game where, if it wasn't the first game of the season, obviously, where it just all clicks for him and he just starts going off. And if it happens against the Cowboys, I wouldn't be too shocked, but I'm not even thinking about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm thinking about Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's a really good running back, man, and he's been probably the better back for Dallas this year. I got to go with the Cowboys. That hurts me to do that, but I just feel like it's going to be them. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Hurts went off in this game. So yeah, give me the Cowboys.
I think it's finally time I say it. I've been behind Ezekiel Elliott for a while now, as we've talked about multiple times, and I'm ready to say Zeke ain't it. I made a video about this on TikTok. Tony Pollard is that guy. He's been more explosive every step of the way, and I think that he could take over in this game. This one, I don't think it'll be close. Like, I think that the Cowboys can win by a couple scores here, but I do still think that the Eagles and Cowboys probably split this season. I think that if this was a home game for the Eagles, they'd have a better chance. But because it's in Dallas, I am going to take the Cowboys. I think Micah Parsons will have a big game.
Yeah, I like that a lot. This is a tough one because I feel like I don't expect much out of the Eagles, but like they've looked a lot better than I expected. Jalen Hurts especially has looked a lot better than I expected. And this Cowboys defense is still suspect. I mean, they played a really good game against Justin. I almost said Justin Fields, Justin Herbert last week, and that Chargers offense, which I think we could all say is a really good offense. I have a weird feeling about the Eagles this week. I have a lot of weird feelings about this week. But I'm pretty confident picking the Eagles here. For some reason, I really like the Cowboys this season. I like Dak Prescott to, break the passing yards record, the whole nine. This just feels like one of those games, one of those rivalry games where I feel like you drop it at home on prime time. Listen, the media, you think the media is going to go crazy about anything else. Like, they're going to go crazy if the Cowboys lose at home on primetime Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be crazy. Stephen A is going to have a fucking blast on first take. But give me the Eagles, and I think it is going to be a close game. I think I could see the Eagles winning off like a game-winning field goal or like a field goal, 4 points, 5 points.
Yeah, I have that same weird feeling. I'm just not confident enough as I go through the Dallas Cowboys roster to think that they're going to lose this game.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a big game out of this Eagles front seven. I know that they just lost Brandon Graham for the year, but hopefully Fletcher Cox, plays well.
Yeah.
All right, and that is going to do it for episode 20 of the Totally Unqualified podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you so much. Like, the support is insane. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating. It helps us out a ton and it gauges how well you guys are receiving these episodes. And make sure to go subscribe to us on YouTube. We are on YouTube. We put these episodes out every week. It's Totally Unqualified on YouTube. So if you don't want to listen to us and you want to see our ugly ass faces, make sure to go check us out there.
Yeah. And guys, this podcast is growing so quickly and we really appreciate everything you guys do to support us. So just make sure you go and follow us on our social medias. Okay. It's at Jake Maltese 3 for me, at Extra Points for Gage, and at Football Fan Zone for Luke. And go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. We got it. Just go to the link in our bios in any of our accounts and you'll see all of those accounts right there.
Absolutely. And if you don't have the Overtime app yet, you can find that at the link in our bios as well. It's a great app. We've talked about it a bunch of times. I can't recommend it enough. It's fantastic. If you want to keep up with scores, news, anything that you can think of relating to sports, definitely download it. And I also want to say, if you're not in our Discord server, Totally Unqualified server, that's at the link in our bios as well. We do a lot of fun stuff in there, polls. We did trivia a little while back. So if you want to get in on that, we highly recommend that.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.